blessings. I just pray that you would encounter the joy of Jesus in this video, that your heart would be light, and that you would also have hope in you. I was trying to think about what I wanted to share, and I've been reading in the book of John. Especially, I was reading in the King James, but also right now I'm really enjoying reading out of the Good News Bible. It is one of my favorite translations. I highly recommend it if anyone's looking for a different version to check out. But yeah, you know, having a little baby here and just enjoying his very sweet and healthy dependence on me. I've just been thinking about that again. And you know, something that I know I can struggle with in life, and I thank God for healing that he's brought me in this area, helping me grow and being dependent on him, but in a healthy way. Well, anyways, you know, I think that sometimes as Christians, you know, we can kind of have an idea about what healthy relationships are like, and a lot of it is great stuff, but some of it doesn't, you know, it can be twisted by Satan, and you know, sometimes codependency, I think, you know, it can have a bad connotation and send messages, you know, like you know, you don't want to be overly dependent on someone. But the problem with codependency is it's not about being overly dependent on someone. It's about being completely dependent on someone other than God. Because here in John 5:19, it says, "So Jesus answered them, 'I tell you the truth, the Son can do nothing on his own. He does only what he sees his Father doing.'" Wow, doesn't Jesus have his own personality? Doesn't... That sounds awfully codependent to me. But when you look at it, that God is the only one that's truly good. He's love. Why would anyone want to do anything independent of love? Why would someone want to do something that's not loving? And God is able. The Father is the one with the resources. So codependency, the sad part about that is because in our brokenness, people, we're not 100% comfortable yet relying on God. So we're trying to rely on ourselves or on others in some way separated from God's ways of doing things. And that's just so sad because, you know, the Bible tells us not to bite and devour each other. And yet it says that Jesus Christ is the bread of life. And Jesus tells us to eat of him and to drink of him. And that he's giving his flesh. Like he's telling us to devour him because he's eternal life. We can't take life from him because that's who he is. We can take more of Jesus and his life just gets on the inside of us then. But people, man, where we're not completely like changed, we're finite, you know, we have finite resources, you know, we can be growing and being more Christ-like, and that's wonderful and a great thing to strive for or believe for, but you know, we're not outside of time, and so it's just sad, but that's just the brokenness of sin that instead of relying on God who is able, we turn to each other. And so anyways, yeah, I just want to encourage someone to set someone free, that, you know, we have a drive inside of each of us to like be completely glued to someone or something. That's because we were designed to be completely dependent on God, and sin was us trying to be independent from God in a bad way. God isn't controlling God. Like he asks us to have self-control. He told Adam to name the animals. He gives choices to us throughout the Bible, and he asks us to do things. And he asks us to do things because even though he's all powerful, he chooses. He doesn't control us like a robot, because he loves us, and he loves when we have a desire in ourself that comes from love to cheerfully give of our own choice. And so yes, so how God fits it all together, I don't know, but I do know that there's a place for very safe and loving, deep, complete dependence on God. And so if you have a hard time with dependency on a person or on drugs or on the high of buying something new or whatever it is that you feel like you can't make it without, the good news is that dependence has a place. Like you get some people, you get rest when you're with someone. You get rest when you finally get that paycheck. You get rest when someone tells you good job, or you get rest when you get to be alone in a room and take a break from everyone out there. Whatever gives you rest, that's because we were created for rest. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but well, maybe I'll make another video here. But for now, I just want to say blessings, and it's a little tidbit, but the way that God does things, it's so different from the way the world does things, and it's just so awesome because we're in ourselves. We can try so hard to get things right and to be a better person or to get away from pain or anything, but all that's needed is Jesus. God bless you guys. If you don't know Jesus yet, I pray you just ask him into your heart. He's the Son of God. He's the only person who walked in perfect love his whole life on this earth. We know that he said that the fulfillment of the law is to love God and to love one another, which is like loving God with all of our heart, all of our soul, and all of our mind. And if you're in sin, and you're sad about it, like give it up. But just so you know, we're never truly free from sin unless we're loving God with all of our heart, all of our soul, and loving each other as ourselves and trusting God to be that love where we fall short. And so, man, whatever is going on, just think about Jesus for a moment and consider the hope that's in him.